Kurt when he was the summer before his senior class in high school. I met him at the National Guard Armory. They had a dance there. My sisters and I always came up to Canton dancing, and Kenny Field was trying to introduce us to some guys to dance. And he says, Thelma, who would you like to meet? And Kurt was standing a head taller than everybody else there. So I said, that guy over there, that real tall guy. So he called him over and introduced us, and that's the first time I met him. We got married in 1965. He had went to living at home. He went to Reinhardt College for a couple of years, and then he transferred over to Georgia. And he lived over there 1 year, and I lived with his folks in Canton. So I said, next year I'm moving to Georgia, so I moved over and we got an apartment over there at the University of Georgia. Oh, Camp Dakota, that was great fun. Totally something different for me. I was head of the hobby shop, which is something I never did, but I enjoyed working with the children. That was a big change, because then we had Erika. She was born in 72. And so I was working at the bank, at Etowah Bank, and he did a lot of traveling, so he was away from home a lot. Yeah, that's when we grew apart. We did get to take some good trips. I'd take Erika and fly wherever he was. And actually, I took 6 months off from the bank, and Erika was about 4, maybe. And so we toured with him in the van with the guys all over the United States for about 6 months. But that became hard for Erika and I. We were either in the hotel or in the van.
I mean, most of them were on the road. I have some flashes of memories in our home, but most of the things that you remember as a child have to kind of be wow moments, and so I had a lot of those on the road. Traveling with him and the band. I remember I was about 4 when I flew in an airplane for the first time by myself. Mother put me on the plane in Atlanta and flew me down to where he and the band were in Florida. And I stayed down there with him a week or 2. I can remember him making a pallet on the back of the stage for me to go to sleep. It was a nightclub, or it was a hotel that had a nightclub or bar, something like that, and falling asleep with this loud music, but it was kind of like white noise at that point. Things like that were more wow factors. Also, all of the places that we went, and I can remember that, I went to, so many states before the age of 5, and of course missed a lot of them, but I can remember like going through Kansas because he was always very playful with me and teasing, and I can remember us being in the van with the band in the van, and him going, making a reference to, oh, we're in Kansas, so we're about to run over the Wicked Witch, and me looking out the front like really looking for the Wicked Witch. And so that's how Kansas, I know I've been to Kansas because there's something from every place that he took me that I can remember being. Dad loaded us all up in the van and took us all the way up. We made a family trip out of it. We stopped along the way. We stopped Virginia Beach. We stopped Washington, D.C. So that we could go to camp and have that same experience. So I went as a camper. I went as a leader in training. Then I was later hired on as a camp leader, camp counselor as well. Went there for several years. It also changed my life entirely. A lot of the principles and base beliefs and things like that, really got from camp. Besides, outside of what I got from my family, I really got from camp. And then, you grow and you start going to college and you start a family. So I didn't go for several years. And then the first year that my daughter was old enough and eligible to go to mini camp, then some of the parents would also attend along with the high school and college age camp counselors. And we would help run mini camp because it's the younger ones that only stay for a short period. So I also followed my mother's footsteps, and I was hobby nook director for several summers and ended up taking all 3 of my children and going back several years. It did not surprise me when he decided to be Mark Twain. Growing up, he was a reader, and I have so many books from my childhood where even at 2 years old, when I couldn't read, he would sign it, a nice message to me, Erika, this is from your daddy, something like that, and the year. And he had a lot of Twain books. And he had that suit that he had for years and years, which I didn't really understand what he was going to do with that suit. I just thought he wanted it, for, I guess, like girls do dress up. I'm like, okay, he's a grown man, but he loves Twain so much, I don't know what he's going to do with the suit. But and he's had this large portrait framed over his fireplace for years of Twain. Did not shock me a bit. And because, being a teacher, standing up, doing the training and leading seminars and being on stage and as a musician, like, he just kind of pulled all of those things together. And it was like, I'm sure that he spent so much time writing, his acts, what he was going to say, what he was going to play, but it seemed just flawless when he did it.